Monica Makes It Happen podcast is proudly supported by Goya. If it's Goya, it has to be good. And by JP Morgan Chase, New York's hometown bank for over 225 years.
It's episode number 23. It is the Monica Makes It Happen podcast. And we're so well lit because, well, Russell Midori is here shooting behind the scenes. And I'm here with Natalie Maniscalco. She is, well, the CEO of Blueprint Communications and the co-founder of the Wonder Girls. We love the Wonder Girls. Natalie, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, finally you're on the podcast.
This is an honor.
I mean, how many stories have we done together? And I guess that's the point.
Yes.
I kind of want to find out more about you and why you fight so hard for women in our area, but also why you fight so hard for the underserved and the incredible stories that we've done together.
Yes,
it comes from you. And if you're wondering, it comes from Natalie. And Natalie makes it happen. So first, I'd like to talk about your story, like what makes you tick.
Yes.
And then we'll talk a little bit about what you're doing now to empower our communities and a little bit of business, because this is always about business, okay? We love talking about the business. And we have a studio audience today. Studio audience, look alive. And I'll end with my speed round, which I like to just, questions just to surprise you, okay? But you've probably watched our podcast, so you already know the surprise questions. But first, Natalie, tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, where are you from and, your story?
Sure. So I am originally from Rockland County. My parents moved from Brooklyn back in the 1970s. And I grew up in a very diverse school district and had no idea I was going to be a publicist or, live a life in New York City and travel the world. But I had pretty big dreams and all the things that we teach our girls in Wonder Girls about manifestation and, really believing in yourself and believing in your future. I remember sitting in school and I would think about myself, like, what would I become? Yes.
That is so
yes.
cool. So you did manifestation before it was cool.
Absolutely.
Now
before it had a name, I definitely did it.
And so you saw it in your mind's eye?
Yes.
That you would be in front of the camera and you'd be pushing people around, which is what she does. She does that, okay? But in a great way. It's almost like you're an advocate for all the stories that really matter.
Yes. And while I worked my way through my career in public relations, I realized that that's what I wanted to do, was I wanted to work on stories that matter. And, you're in the news and it really is, there's just so much negative news. And I don't want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of things that help people, things that are inspiring, just like the story we did with Serena, and really be able to tell stories that matter and make a difference.
Oh, Serena, just in case, you got to check that out on her Instagram, my Instagram. It's a college student that needs money, and her boss stepped up and is now selling cupcakes for college, which I love that name, which is probably a nonprofit, which you'll probably be co-founding to come. But my favorite story is about you're in kindergarten. Tell me about that moment, because it really does start when you're young.
Yes.
You're pretty much the same person you were when you were 5,
except
maybe
pretty
just
much.
taller.
Yeah, if you ask my parents, yeah.
I know, and her parents will say the same thing. So what happened in kindergarten? What was that story?
And first of all, it's so funny that you remember that story that I told you. Yes, first day of kindergarten, and I was on the bus, and there was this little boy that was picking on this other little girl who was probably the same age as me. And I remember she had this toy puppet, and he snatched it and he ripped it up, and she started crying, and he was so mean. And I said to him, I gave him warning signs, and I said, please stop, leave her alone. And he just wouldn't. And so I stepped in. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I did. I'll give you the PG version.
Come on.
But I actually got sent to the principal's office on the
punched him in the nose or something.
The first day. Yes, I don't want to, encourage
No, we don't.
defense.
But sometimes. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Sometimes it does work. And I was in the principal's office the first day. My mom worked at the school that I was in.
Oh, no, you didn't.
And so she was mortified. And my mom was never the one that said, oh, not my daughter. She comes in and she's like, what did you do with the first day of school? And she goes, how could you do that? And she said, I don't even really remember the whole story, but she said, all I did was I shrugged, and I said, well, he stopped.
Well, that is kind of life, right? In general, as a woman, as a CEO, as a co-founder, you've gotten a lot of no's.
Yes.
And you've got a lot of pushing back.
Yeah, you have to fight.
So you're a fighter.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you have to do it in a certain way. You know, it's not about fists and it's not about cursing and yelling and screaming. It's really doing it in a way that you're confident, you have the ability to convey your feelings and why you think something should be changed, and then take action and be able to put into place what needs to be changed. And I feel like I know life is unfair. My dad used to say that to me all the time. He's like, hard lesson, life is unfair, life is unfair. And some things you can't change, but some things you can. And I've always believed that I can change things that are unfair.
Wow. And you know, someone told me that when I was growing up too, but I took that as a negative, like, oh, that person's so negative. And you took it as like, yeah, okay, I'm going to work with that.
Exactly.
See, that's a good mentality to have, is kind of leaning into that kind of stuff instead of fighting it. Because sometimes I feel like you can get dragged as a woman, you know, sometimes, you know, going for that kind of bait, but you leaned in and now you're fighting for others. You know, you're an entrepreneur, you're the CEO of Blueprint Communications.
Yes.
So you represent a lot of corporate entities. You know, you have a high powered job. So what's your number one like motto for like, how do you function every day? Like, is there like a mission statement that someone like you has?
There's a lot, actually. I mean, I truly believe where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, if you can think it and believe it, and you could put it into action.
No matter what.
No matter what.
No matter where you come from.
Yes, no matter where you come from.
No matter how little money you have.
I did not come from privilege. You know, I did not come from a wealthy family. Neither of my parents went to college. My brother and I are the first to go to college. My parents remortgaged their house twice so that we could both go to college. And my brother and I worked our butts off. I had jobs since I'm 13. I had 3 jobs my senior year of high school.
Wait, you worked when you were 13? Is that legal? That's another podcast. That's another. I know, because I think I worked at 16. So isn't that funny? But that really developed who you were.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's say after the commercial break, I want to talk a little bit about the Wonder Girls, one of our favorite organizations, and some of the projects you're working. And you have a book. You have so much going on. So that's after the break. Keep watching. All right, we're back with Natalie Maniscalco, again, the co-founder of Wonder Girls, but also the CEO of Blueprint Communications. So you're a mogul and you're also very philanthropic. Yeah. The Wonder Girls, why would you start something like this? Seems like so much work. You are kind of like the madrina to 600 young women. Like you're very busy. So most of us are watching like busy lives. Why would you take something like this on?
So my co-founder and I, Irene Robles, as I said before, we are inseparable, and we did this together and just had this one small idea. We didn't think it was going to be this big, but I really believe because there's such a need for an empowerment program for girls that the schools just absolutely loved it, and most of all that the girls really loved the program. And we developed it together with a network of over 150 women from all different backgrounds and cultures and professions, so that the girls can learn from these women and hear their stories and their struggles and their successes. And I think it's really important at a very young age that girls start to begin building their confidence, because that changes throughout their lives.
So true, isn't it? Like studio audience is watching here and we have some young women here. I mean, the focus on the teenagers, tell me about that again. I mean, you had that idea and you saw that there was a gap there.
Right.
There's not a lot of resources for teenage girls.
No, and a lot of funding goes to athletics and to boys. And even though it's 2025, it is still the truth. There are schools that won't fund our program because the funding goes to boys' athletics department.
If that doesn't make everyone mad just hearing that, say that one more time. So you will reach out to people and say, I need funding for these incredible programs that you have for these young women. Yeah. And you're told, oh, what do they say?
Well, obviously they're not coming straight out with it, but in a roundabout or other teachers that know the inside are telling us that that's where the funding is going. And they won't, they don't have the funding for a program like this, which is so vital for girls.
What does it take to be a Wonder Girl? What is it? This is a surprise question. What does it take to be a Wonder Girl? What are some of the attributes of all these? Because we're going to see some pictures and videos, hopefully, of this. But you know, what does it take to be a Wonder Girl? Well, I think I'm a Wonder Girl.
You are a Wonder Girl. You'll always be a Wonder Girl.
Older woman. Just kidding.
No, I mean, it's really amazing to see when we do ask the girls, what is it to them to be a Wonder Girl? I always love hearing what they have to say, and it is everything that our program is about that teaches them. It's having confidence, or being open to developing your confidence, right? They can step into our program and not feel confident and not have good self-esteem, but leave like feeling so much better, feeling hope for the future. Leadership skills, and when we talk about leadership, we say it's not just about being a leader in the community, but being the CEO of your own life. Yes, we always say that. We always say that. It's really important that girls understand that they need to first take charge of their life, right? If you feel good about yourself, if you can handle your own life, it's easier.
I'm sitting up taller just when
yes,
you're saying
exactly.
this.
And it manifests through everything. The way you handle yourself, the way you speak, your eye contact with someone, being confident enough to shake someone's hand, being confident enough to introduce yourself. These are all things, all of the business skills that we teach these girls, the professional etiquette that we teach these girls, and to be able to succeed no matter what they decide to do. So it's a program, and also we want them to believe in this idea of girls supporting girls, women supporting girls, the media, movies. I mean, there's a movie called Mean Girls, right?
Yeah.
You know, that has taken on such.
Well, how about a movie, Nice
negative.
Girls?
Yeah,
you'll Nice Girls with the Wonder Girls. That'll be your next project.
Exactly.
Tyler Perry, are you watching?
Yes,
okay.
please.
We just
call
need
me.
a producer. But yeah, no, you never know, and because you have a book out already. So what's the book about?
Yeah, our Wonder Girls Guidebook to College.
I love that.
That was actually written by 5 of our Wonder Girls who were either in college or had just graduated from college, and they included everything and anything you need to know about going to college, whether you're going to community college, whether you're going away for college, financial aid, mental health, picking a roommate, you name it, even going to parties. Like how would you be able to handle yourself in a party? I mean, just so many great nuggets of information. It's unbelievable.
Again, one more time, I know we established that you were a kid and you were fighting for others, but why do you do this? What really drives you every day? Does it make you feel good, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just love it. I just love it so much. And I feel so blessed that I get to do this. And I know, you know, there's that saying that if you find something you love, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that. Like, I truly love what I do. And every day I'm always like, please, nothing happened. Please, like, please, you know, like I just, you know, when like things go well. So every day you just want greater things to happen, and, you know, just manifesting things and like, hey, we're going to get that money and we're going to get that grant. And I just really, and just the girls telling us how much they love the program and like what it's meant to them, that's fuel. Like, that's just fills all of our cups. And
well, the moment that I remember is someone calling you like her mom. You know, you're like her mama.
I know.
That was a tearjerker. They have a great gala too, which we can talk about as well. But after the break, we're going to do like a speed round with Natalie Maniscalco, again, the CEO of Blueprint Communications, about just everything. Let's do the speed round. You won't want to miss this. Natalie's coming up. This is after the break. And we're back with Natalie Maniscalco, the CEO of Blueprint Communications and the co-founder of the Wonder Girls. We love the Wonder Girls. This is our famous speed round where I just ask these questions and try to be as honest as possible. And this is so fun. Wait to hear this. So I always say, what's your biggest accomplishment, Natalie?
One of my biggest accomplishments, I would say, I was 19 years old. A lot of people don't know this about me, fun fact, but I enrolled in the U.S. Marine Corps and completed officer candidate school in Quantico, Virginia. and it was hardcore and badass, and I fit.
What? This is crazy. Oh my God.
Yes. So that was a huge accomplishment. I didn't think I was going to make it. It was tough.
Wait, so you're a Marine?
Well, I did all the training, and then
well, you know, we have them behind the camera.
Oh, wow. Okay, there we go.
So Russell knows what that takes.
Yes,
That is
Quantico, Virginia.
That is the biggest accomplishment, and I did not know that
about
you.
That was huge. That was huge.
Makes me want to do more
sit-ups. And that actually has
but...
helped me set the tone of my adulthood.
Yes, yeah, that structure.
Yes.
And that training.
Yes.
I mean,
and
look
mindset.
How fabulous you are. And Russell, you're fabulous too. You always want to say that about the photographer lighting you. But anyway, biggest regret. This is a tough one. And I hate to ask you that, but we always ask that. And I'm always surprised by the answers. We had Sweet Tea on just recently, and she said not finishing college. And I didn't expect her to say that.
Okay.
And get this, she finished college since our podcast.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it was such a great message, I thought, because it had been hanging there. And she said, I really wish I would have finished.
Yes.
And then I always think of Frank Sinatra, regrets, I have a few. But, what's your answer? I gave you some more time. Do you see how I did that?
I know. I love that. Thank you. Because I was thinking. But I really try not to live with regrets. So my biggest regret, which it's not that bad, but I wish I didn't. I majored in communications and business, and I wish I did broadcast journalism.
Really?
Yes.
I always thought you would be a great correspondent.
Yes.
Like a network correspondent.
So that's what I wish I had done.
News Nation, are you watching?
I know. I'm.
She's available. It's her dream now. Okay. It was, you're doing such great work now. Your motto. I think I asked you this earlier, but I really want to know. What's your motto? Like there's one thing that you want to be known for. What's the motto?
If there's a will, there's a way.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
You know what mine is? I'm
What's
just going to
yours?
throw mine on. Never, ever, ever, ever give up. So there's like
that.
16 evers.
Yes.
But I think that's Winston Churchill, but I stole that from him. It's okay. I'm stealing it. Superpower. What's your superpower, Natalie?
I think my ability to connect with people and anyone.
I would say
I could talk to anyone.
Yeah. I would say that.
My husband says that I could talk to the wall and it'll talk back to me.
And you have a big heart. I think that's another one.
Oh, thank you.
Role model. Who's your role model and why?
My role models are my parents, without a doubt. Without a doubt. They are the best parents ever. And I'm so incredibly grateful. And as I get older and older and I meet people who don't have good parents, it's just...
You're so lucky.
Yeah, so lucky.
I mean, I met them. Yeah, I met them, and I'm going, these are your parents? It's incredible. But
they look amazing now. They're just like they're just great.
They're
so
amazing.
They
so
are.
that actually I think is a reason why you turned out so good.
Oh,
to be quite honest
you.
with you, good parents mean good kids most of the time. Now with Wonder Girls, how do people give? With Wonder Girls, how do they give?
There's lots of ways to give, but always funding is needed, and we are currently running a fundraiser for one of our girls to go to college. We have a fund called the Cupcakes for College that we're doing with the Cupcake Carriage.
Great.
Yes, I think we're going to have to continue this.
Yes.
So we are always raising money, because the more money we have, the more we could give back. We've given out over $50,000 in scholarships already.
$50,000?
Yes.
That's incredible.
And we're going into our 5th year in our school, in all of our schools next year, or this school year, and we need money. So go to wondergirlsusa.org. You can donate there.
WonderGirlsUSA.org. That's easy to remember.
Yes.
Just remember the USA.
Yes.
WonderGirlsUSA.org. I can't say that enough. And we'll also, it's all on my Instagram too. It's all the stories, especially this one. And to end it, I always like to ask, who do you want to see on the next podcast? Like, if you wanted to see someone on my podcast, who would it be? Who do you suggest?
I would suggest a celebrity or non-celebrity.
Whatever you think. You can do both. Whatever you want to.
Okay.
Just, it's your suggestion.
I would love to nominate one of our amazing mentors who I have always been inspired by. And literally every time I hear her story, I'm like, she's amazing. And she's part of our audience right now.
Tennille
Ortiz.
We knew it. I know you say she has the most amazing story.
Is.
This is when your publicist cap goes on.
I know, yes. She is the CEO of the Cupcake Carriage.
Love the Cupcake Carriage.
Came up with the idea to do Cupcakes for College Fund to help Serena. And she has been our mentor with us since the very beginning.
Yeah.
Our girls absolutely love her. And she just has such an incredible story that just from her childhood to what she is now.
Wow. Now we have to have her on.
I know. I see. I'm teasing it.
You're
I'm
really
teasing it, right?
good. I mean,
very few people can do what she has done. And it really takes a tremendous character to do what she has done. And I truly believe that. No, I truly believe that. Because I've met a lot of people that, that don't do what she does. So
wow. Okay. Well, that is what is called a tease in our business. And since you're going to be a network correspondent now, because you don't have enough to do as a CEO and a co-founder and all this. But thank you, Natalie, for being here. I'm so glad that you were my guest, because you've been here so much. You've been such a supporter of our show. Specifically, the Monica Makes It Happen show would not be a show. I think people should know that if it wasn't for Natalie Maniscalco. Round of applause for Natalie. We're making it happen,
Monica.
together.
Yes.
We're making it happen together.
Yes.